Buenas tardes. Ada yang bilang buenas noches, ada yang bilang buenas tardes. Tadi udah lihat pollnya ya. Tadi aku sempat tanya kira-kira semuanya udah pada nonton Encanto apa belum. Ternyata ada berapa orang nih? 19 orang. There's 19 people who haven't watched Encanto. So I hope you guys don't mind some spoilers because, well, obviously this session is full of spoilers. Okay, kita mulai aja ya. Let's start, Nicholas, if that's okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Hola a todos. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stories from Encanto by Dime Porque and the Embassy of Colombia in Indonesia. I'm Primarita, Community Manager of Dime Porque. I'm really happy to be here at our third event already in 2022. Very busy. Earlier this month, we did Instagram Live with Angela Lopez, an art performer from Spain. And last week, we also did a Q&A about working at Latin American embassies. And this Saturday, we also have a flamenco workshop. So it's been quite a busy month. So I'd like to thank all of you who have been participating. We're very happy with the results, and we can promise you that for the rest of the year, we are going to have many more exciting events and activities. So stay tuned. All right. So just a brief agenda for tonight. After this introduction, we're going to listen to Stories from Encanto from our guest speaker for tonight, Nicolas Montoya, who is the cultural attaché of the Embassy of Colombia in Indonesia. This is our second collaboration with the embassy. The first one was Hispanic Week last year, if you guys remember, where we learned so much about beautiful Colombian music. So we're very happy and grateful to have them again here. At the end of the presentation, we're going to have a quiz with prizes, of course. So please make sure to pay attention to Nicolas because we are going to test your knowledge about anything related to Encanto. So, and after the quiz, the Embassy of Colombia is also organizing an Instagram story competition. So please stay until the end so you can find out how to participate and win the exclusive prize from the embassy. Last but not least, very important, if you haven't already, please follow us at dime.por.que and Embassy of Colombia, of course, MCO Indonesia on Instagram. So that you can participate in the competition. And of course, you can get some great content in your Instagram feed in the future. Or you can also do a live report and post anything from this event. Just don't forget to mention us, all right? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just maybe say hola to Nicolas. Hola, Nicolas.
Hola, good evening, everyone.
Hola.
Hello, hello.
My name is Nicolas Montoya. I'm the cultural attaché at the Embassy of Colombia in Jakarta. I'm very glad to see so many people interested in learning more about Encanto and Colombian culture. Very glad to be here with you today.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We're very excited. Are you ready to give your awesome presentation?
Sure, let's get right into it.
Okay, vámonos.
All right, so let me switch here. Okay, so are you seeing my camera now?
Yes, and your screen. So everything looks perfect here.
Okay, so let's start with one of the most important things, which is to, if you don't know yet, the embassy already has an Instagram account. We recently opened it a couple of months ago. Last time when we had the reggaeton and Colombian music event, we didn't have any social media accounts. So if you are not following us yet, please go ahead and check out our profile. You can scan the QR codes that we have on the screen. And we also are trying to promote Colombian culture and the experience of Indonesian people in Colombia through a podcast. If you're interested to learn more about that, please check it out. We have it in many different platforms, in Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can scan the code also. It's called Colombia in Indonesia. Now let's move on to Encanto. So the first thing I would like to share with you, it's how we're gonna do this presentation. So with the structure of this presentation, it's gonna be not so much like a chronological explanation of the movie, but I would like to explain more what interesting things have the movie do the movie have, and also some, hold on, I'm lost. Okay, so some references that the movie has about culture in Colombia, places in Colombia, different times in Colombia, and also some real life facts at the end. So let's start by talking about magical realism. The story in Encanto is portrayed as a magical realism kind of story, in which, if you don't know yet, magical realism is a genre of literature where extraordinary events are presented as part of everyday life. So one of the most popular authors of magical realism, it's Gabriel Garcia Marquez, which we have on screen now. He was a Colombian writer who won a Nobel Prize for his book 100 Years of Solitude, which is very important to the story, as we will discuss later on, because if you have had the chance to watch Encanto, you surely have seen the yellow butterflies that appear in some places during the movie. These yellow butterflies are references to that specific book of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, in which the butterflies represented the love between a couple of characters in the book, and more specifically, the one character that every time he was nearby his lover, yellow butterflies would appear. So that's a very interesting thing that they portrayed that in the movie. In several places, you can find references to yellow butterflies in some of the walls in the houses, flying around everywhere. So that's an interesting fact about that. Now let's talk about the bad guys in Encanto. If you have had the chance to watch the movie, you've seen that how the Madrigal family ended up in the Encanto was because they were being chased by some bad guys on horses. This is a reference to some specific things that have happened in Colombia. Since the independence of Colombia, Colombia has had different periods in which it has had some violence and conflicts internally. And this internal conflict has led to many people being displaced from their cities or places where they were living. And this is what the movie portrays, and that's how the family Madrigal ended up in the Encanto. However, the movie also shows by the end, when after the earthquake, and well, sorry if I spoiled the movie for you. First of all, I've seen in the poll that some of you haven't watched it yet, but I'm sorry. This is your spoiler alert. So by the end, after the earthquake, you can see that one of the things that happens is that the mountains open apart. So Encanto is now a reachable place by people from the outside. So we also believe that it's a reference to the peace process that was signed in Colombia between the government and the FARC guerrillas 5 years ago. So yeah, the movie is goes very deep in reference about our country. Now, we will move on to some geographic references. Specifically, there are three places I would like to talk to you about, which are very important in the movie. Which are, the first one is Barichara, Santander. We will see more about that in the next slide. Then we have Valle del Cocora in Quindío, number 2, and number 3 is Caño Cristales in Meta. So, sorry, this should be before the other one. So for those of you who don't know where Colombia is located, Colombia is in the northeast part of South America. So as you can see, we are in the top left, we have borders with Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, and with Panama on the north too. So now let's talk about Barichara. So the town of Encanto in the movie, it's inspired in a small town in Colombia called Barichara, founded in 1705. You can see in this image where Abuela is standing in the middle of the street, the kind of houses that they used for the movie. So I'll show you now a real photograph of Barichara with the same architecture. So the thing that inspired the people in Encanto was the traditional and colonial architecture in Barichara. Barichara, it's one of the towns that has been declared as patrimony of Colombia, national heritage. And it's also called, sorry. And sorry about that. And it's also called, it's also known to be one of the most beautiful towns in Colombia. So that's where the people from Disney took their inspiration to do the Encanto town. Now the Valle del Cocora. So as you can see here in the picture from Encanto, there are lots of these tall palm trees. Those palm trees are called palma de cera in Spanish, which are also referenced in the song by Luisa and, no, sorry, Isabela and Mirabel. The palma de cera, it's the Colombia's national tree. It's the highest palm tree in the world, the palm tree that grows on at highest altitudes. And there is a place in Colombia called Valle del Cocora, which is full of palm trees, as you can see in this picture. And it's a very beautiful place because it also has, you can find 4 of Colombia's most important natural things, like the Palma de Cera is one, the national tree. Then you have also the spectacle bear, which is the only South American bird there is. You find the Andean condor too, which is in Colombia's emblem, and it's our national bird. And what's the 14th? Oh, sorry. No, ya está. Condor, palma, and our national flower, which is Cattleya, which is a kind of orchid, pink orchid. So it's a beautiful place because, as you can see, the landscape, it's very mountainous and it has lots of these trees, and you find a lot of beautiful things that Colombians are very proud of. We're very proud of that. Now, the third geographical reference I would like to share with you is this beautiful river that you can see in a couple of scenes in the movie. This is the one of the final scenes of the movie when Abuela is embracing Mirabel after they reconcile. And this place is called Caño Cristales. It's also known as the Rainbow River. It's located not too far from Bogota, the capital of Colombia. However, it's a place that was very difficult to reach before because of the conflict with the violent conflict that we had. But now after the peace agreement, people have been able to go there more and more, and it's becoming a very popular place. And if you think that they exaggerated the beauty of this place in the movie, you would be wrong, because the place looks just like that. It's a beautiful river with 5 different colors. It has yellow, blue, green, black, and red because of some plants and algae that bloom from June to November every year. So it's a beautiful place, and that's why it has gotten the name of the Rainbow River. Let's move on now to cultural references. I think this is one of the things that Indonesians like the most about Encanto, which is music, because as we discussed in the reggaeton talk, you are very, very, very big fans of Latin American rhythms. So first of all, I would like to show you some of the traditional instruments that we use in Colombia that were portrayed in the movie too. The first one on the top left is the accordion, which is very popular for vallenato music. Then we have the drum that is beside the accordion. It's called a tambor macho, and it's a drum that was inspired in African percussion or drums that were brought from by slaves when they were brought to Latin America because of the Spanish. And then we have something that looks like a guitar, but it's actually called a triple. As you can, maybe if you can see, it has more than 6 strings compared to a regular guitar, which only has 6. This has 12. And it came out of traditional Spanish guitars, but now it's a very popular thing for traditional music in Colombia. And then we have the marimba, which is also inspired in African instruments. And it's very popular in the music on the Pacific coast of Colombia. As you can see here in this picture, there was a guy playing accordion. It was in the first song when they were introducing the Madrigal family. They were playing an accordion, a tiple, and also the drum. Then before we started the talk, you were playing some music, Primarita. You were playing the music from Encanto. So now let's discuss the different songs that Encanto has. The first one is the Family Madrigal. That song is inspired by bambuco, which is a traditional kind of music that was inspired in European waltz and polska from the time in the colony. After the Spanish brought all the European music, we got bambuco, and then we had Waiting on a Miracle, which is the one with Mirabel and Isabela. No, sorry, that's only Mirabel when she's feeling kind of lonely after Antonio gets his gift. That it's inspired in a music genre that's called joropo, which is from the grasslands in Colombia in the border with Venezuela. So we share that kind of music between both countries, and it's been declared also heritage for both countries. Then we have Surface Pressure by Luisa, which is, I think I can say it's my favorite song from Encanto. It's a mix in between reggaeton and pop. So it's kind of like the music Shakira is doing right now, like similar to that kind of music. What else can I do? That's the one with Isabela and Mirabel. That's tropipop. Tropipop, it's a genre of music that became very popular in Colombia during the end of the 90s and beginnings of the 2000s, which was a mix between pop and traditional like grandpa's music that we used to listen in Colombia. Then we have We Don't Talk About Bruno. That's I think it's the most popular song from Encanto right now. And it's my second favorite. That's inspired salsa, traditional salsa music from different places in Latin America. And Colombia Mi Encanto, which is the one that I think it plays at the beginning and then at the end, after the credits start to roll. That's like a modern kind of vallenato. It's sung by Carlos Vives, and it's just the kind of music that he usually sings, new age vallenato. Now, oops, sorry. Let's move on to cultural references in clothing. There are a lot of references to different types of clothes in Colombia. I'm not going to cover all of them because there is truly a lot. Almost every character has clothes from different places in Colombia, but I'll explain the most prominent ones during the movie. The first one are this pair of shoes on the top. They are called alpargatas. And those are shoes that are usually worn by people in the countryside, and they're a variation of a traditional European shoe that was also used by country people in France and some part of Spain. And the Spanish brought them to Latin America, and then it became very popular for the farmers and people that lived in the country in Colombia. Then we have the sombrero volteado, which is the one with the black lines. This hat has been declared Colombia's heritage as well, if I'm not mistaken. And it's made by the Sinu people nearby the Sinu River in the north of Colombia. It's made with kind of natural fiber of caña flecha. Do you know what's the name of caña flecha? Yeah, the name is caña flecha. I don't know if it has a name in English, but the material that it's used for that is caña flecha. Then we have the aguadeño hat, which is the yellow beige one with the black line in the middle. That's the most popular hat in the Paisa region in Colombia, which is where Medellin is, and also where part of the Encanto inspired places were. So that's one of the most popular hats there. And then we also have the Wayu handbag. That is from a place in Colombia which is further north. However, it's very popular in the whole country. It's made by a group of indigenous people called Wayu people, and it's handmade, and the characteristic it has, because it's kind of similar to other handbags that are done in Latin America, is that it has a wider strap, as you can see in the picture, and it's I don't remember what's made of. Hold on a second. Susanita, ¿tú te acuerdas de que están hechas las mochilas Wayu?
Lana de cabra.
Lana. So, sorry. So those handbags are made with wool from goats. And then we have also this last hat, the one on the top right. That's a hat that for me, it's not as popular as the other ones in Colombia. But it's also made by some indigenous people in Colombia with a different material called palmasara, which is also a natural fiber. And okay, so that's it for hats. Hold on, let me just arrange everything here. So let's move on to clothing, which this we had to do a lot of research on, because there are so many different dresses in Colombia that we were not sure which one were from which places. So the most popular one right now is Mirabel dress, which at the beginning, when I saw the trailer of the movie, I didn't know it was inspiring a specific kind of dress in Colombia, which is the dress from a small city called Vélez in Santander. And as you can see on the right of to the right of Mirabel, there is a Colombian woman wearing that traditional dress. So it's very similar. Disney, the people in Disney were inspiring that dress, but they changed the traditional patterns and everything to fit the movie narrative. And so Mirabel has different stitchings in her skirt with some animals and her family, but it's inspired by that kind of dress from Vélez in Santander. Then we have Dolores dress, is inspired by dresses of African Colombian people in the northeast of Colombia. And it's the dress that it's used for a traditional dance called bullerengue. Okay, sorry. Let's move on now. Now we have Uncle Felix shirt. It's also a traditional shirt in Colombia called guayabera. It's something that we also share with several countries in Latin America. It's like kind of the national like fancy clothes, as maybe it's not as important as batik is in Indonesia, but it's kind of similar. You can wear that in hot weather and still be like fancy. No, not fancy. Elegant, formal, right? Great, thanks, formal. Then we have ruanas. So ruanas is what Camilo and Bruno are wearing in the movie. On top, it's a garment that you use to cover yourself in cold weather, and it's very popular in the mountains in Colombia. And you can see here this little kid wearing a kind of ruana. So that's what they were inspired by in the movie. We have also one that I don't know if you noticed because it appears only for a very short moment during the Madrigal family song, and that's Tejo. I'll show you here in Encanto. It appeared like this when Mirabel was running from these guys. They were throwing something to these structures on the right, and the structures were exploding. So what that is, it's actually Colombia's national sport called Tejo, in which if you see in this image, the guy is holding on his left hand something that it's called also a tejo, and it's still kind of pot that weighs around half a kilo, if I'm not mistaken. And the idea is that you throw that to these clay squares in front of the guy, and in the middle of those clay squares there is a round metal structure that it's called a bocin, in which you put some mechas. Mechas are small triangles of paper filled with a little bit of gunpowder. So if you manage to hit one of those, the pressure between the tejo and the bocin will make them explode, and then you will get points. So that's why in Encanto, they were throwing this, and then there were small explosions in the tejo field. We also had references to silleteros, which are these guys, as you can see here, they are carrying big structures in which they do like flowers, mosaics made out of real flowers. And that's a very popular thing for the Feria de Flores in Medellin. Medellin is one of the biggest cities in Colombia. And every year since 1957, they have had this celebration called Feria de Flores. It started in May, but now it's in August. And Medellin it's known as the city of eternal spring. And that's why in the beginning in 1957 they started this celebration to show flowers and everything that they produce in the region. And since then, these silleteros have become very popular, and there are contests of who makes the best one, the bigger one, the prettiest one. And I'll show you a photo of one from the back of the guy. So as you can see, this is all made out of natural flowers harvested in Medellin and the surrounding towns. So that's why Medellin, it's known as the city of eternal spring, and it's very, very popular. I think it's the biggest festival that Medellin has every year. Then we also had this, which at first, if you just see it in the movie, you wouldn't think it's a reference to anything, but actually these small coffee cups that they show when they are having breakfast, those are inspired in these real life cups that are painted by hand in Colombia in a place called Carmen de Viboral. And those have become very, very popular, and those are very traditional glassware that you can get in Colombia for your house. So that's also a reference that appears in Encanto. I just realized something that I'll talk about, but I can show you pictures because I forgot to do the slides, and it's one of the most important things, which is food. I just realized I didn't do the slides about food, but I'll find pictures and I'll show you because I think that's very important and interesting. So this in the picture, it's a coffee howling machine. It's the machine that you use to separate the pulp from coffee cherries to get the coffee beans in the first part of the process of processing coffee beans. And I wanted to show you this because there are several references to coffee culture in the movie, because as you know, Colombia is one of the biggest coffee producers in the world. We are the third after Brazil and Vietnam. And although the movie doesn't centers around that culture, it does have a lot of references about coffee during the movie. And this is one of the biggest one. It happens during Luisa's song, Surface Pressure, when Luisa and Mirabel both fall inside the howling machine, and then Luisa breaks it, and then the song goes on. We also have this reference with the candle. So you may think, why did they choose to use a candle to talk about the miracle that they had and how they got their charms and Encanto? And it's based on a traditional Catholic customs. As you may know, Colombia, the majority of people in Colombia are Catholic, and they practice this faith. And within this faith, there is a lot of rituals that in which candles are used. You can see the one with the ribbon around. That's a kind of candle that it's used by kids when they're doing their first communion. Also, if you have ever had the chance to go to a big church or a cathedral, you will see that there is always a place where lots of candles are lit, either to because you're praying for someone or you're offering a praying for something. So that's why you usually light the candle. If you're asking God for anything, or if you're asking any saint or Mary or whoever you are praying to, you usually light a candle and ask for that. So that's why the miracle that they had in Encanto is represented by a candle too. It's inspiring those beliefs from Latin American people. So before we move to the earthquake part, let me look for some pictures about the food, and we can discuss that. Okay. Sí, por favor. So hold on, let me share the pictures and we can talk about food. So there are several references about food in Encanto. I'll tell you what kinds of food you can find, and then when I get the pictures, I will show them to you. One of the things that I like the most is that they showed the traditional soup from Bogota, from the center part of Colombia, not only Bogota, but the region where Bogota is located, the capital, which is called ajiaco santafereño, and that's a soup that it's made with potatoes as a base, potatoes, chicken, corn, and a special plant called huasca, which is very important to give ajiaco its characteristic flavor. And they are having that when Mariano goes to propose Isabella. That's the kind of food they're eating in that scene. They also eat a traditional Colombian breakfast made with Perico's style egg, which is scrambled egg with tomato and onions. They eat a lot of arepas. They also eat pan de bono. I'll show you the pictures. The arepa, it's something that we have in Colombia that it's made out of corn. It's not a bread, but many people describe it as some kind of corn bread, but it doesn't have any yeast. It just have the corn that you have hydrated, and then you have to grind it, and then you made a dough out of it. You then convert it into a flat kind of disc, and then you grill it. Pero yo no sé cómo compartir esto. Hold on, let me see if I can share. And then you can see the pictures. Let's do this. Okay, so do you see my WhatsApp now? Okay, so this is the arepa. That's the one I was telling you about, that it's made out of corn. Then we have the ajiaco. This is the soup that they were eating when Mariano went to ask for Isabella's hand. They were drinking this kind of juice when they were eating the ajiaco, which is made with this fruit that's called lulo. Lulo, if I'm not mistaken, you can only find it in a couple of countries in Latin America. It's a sour fruit, which when you cut it in half, it looks kind of like a green orangey tomato. Do you see the one that it's on the glass? Many people don't realize that, but it actually does look like a tomato. But sometimes it's like it's furry on the skin. This is called an arepa de huevo, so it's also a kind of arepa, but what you do is you fry it, so it's a gorengan. You fry it first, open it in half, put an egg inside, and fry it once again until the egg is cooked, and then you eat it. That's also in Encanto. I don't remember exactly in which scene, but I saw them eating that. They also ate, this is the huevos, the pericos egg that I was telling you about, the scrambled eggs with tomato, onion, and in this picture, it has dill, but we don't use dill. We use coriander. Now, this that Julieta is holding in her hand, it's called buñuelos. It's kind of Swedish bread that we use, especially around Christmas. It's made out also with a mix of corn flour, cassava flour, cheese, and a little bit of sugar. And then you have to fry it also. I think that's one of the things that Indonesian people have liked the most about Colombian food when we have shared it with them. And let's see, here is a real life picture of the buñuelos. And then there is also these things around the buñuelos are called pan de yuca, which is another kind of bread made out of cassava flour and cheese, but it's not fried this time, but it's baked. Buñuelos, pan de yuca, and yeah, I think that's it. Those are the references to food that you can find in Encanto. I'm sure there are a couple of things that I'm missing here, but those are the most famous one, I think. And now let's move on to this is a very important part in the history of Colombia, and that's something that it's portrayed in Encanto as well, and it's the earthquake at the end. Actually, yesterday we were commemorating, or honoring with the victims of a very big earthquake that happened in 1999 in Armenia, which is the capital of Quindío, which is the region where the Valle del Cocorais, where the big palms were. It was a huge earthquake that destroyed 75% of the city. Many people unfortunately died, and many people were injured, and also many people lost everything in that tragic incident. And that's a reference to what happens in Encanto at the end when the Encanto is fading, when the candle is it's blowing out, and it starts trembling, everything falls down, the house gets destroyed, the mountains open in half. So that's a reference to that very strong earthquake that happened in Colombia in 1999 in the same region. Now let's move on to real life facts about Encanto. So did you know that the cast, they choose to do the voices in English, most of them are Colombian, or they're descendants of Colombian people. So we have, let me move my camera out of here, sorry. So we have Maria Cecilia Botero, which is the actress who voiced Abuela both in Spanish and English. She's a Colombian actress. And then we have Stephanie Beatriz. She is an Argentinian American actress, but her dad is Colombian, and she's the voice of Mirabel. We have John Leguizamo. He is a Colombian actor who moved to the US. He's the voice of Bruno. we have, sorry, hold on. Angie Cepeda, who voices Julieta. She is a Colombian actress as well. Carolina Gaitán, who voices Pepa. She's a Colombian singer and actress. We have Mauro Castillo, which is also a Colombian actor who plays Felix in Encanto, voices Felix. Then we have Diane Guerrero. She's a Colombian American actress. I think she was born in the US, but her parents are Colombian. She is the voice of Isabela. We have Dolores. Dolores is voiced by Adasa. She's the daughter of a couple of African Colombian people. Jessica Darrow, she's Cuban, but she doesn't have, as far as we know, any connection, direct connection to Colombian or any Colombian family, but she was the voice of Luisa in English. And the movie has been a total success. There are many different headlines that say that it wasn't as big on the opening, but if you look really into it, it has been one of the best grossing movies after COVID started, because it has been a very difficult time for movie theaters. But Encanto has been a very big success. It was nominated to the Golden Globe Awards in 2022. It won the Best Picture Animated, Best Animated Picture Award in the Golden Globes. It also was nominated for Best Song Motion Picture with Dos Oruguitas, which is one of the songs that we didn't talk about. I didn't talk about it because it didn't have any particular Colombian traditional rhythm, but it's the one that sounds when Abuela and Mirabel are talking and reconciling, and when Abuela shares what happened with the bad guys. They also were nominated as the Best Score Motion Picture, nominated to Critics' Choice Awards of 2022 as Best Animated Feature and Best Song with Dos Oruguitas. And it's also in the run, I think, for the Oscars, the song for Dos Oruguitas. It's still to be decided, right? But yeah, we don't know. We don't know yet. It's on the run to be one of the nominees to the Oscars. So hopefully, let's see. So the movie took the team from Disney more than 5 years to research, produce, write, and produce, because they were very strict on on their research. They had to go many times to Colombia. They have to check different regions, different customs, different foods. As you see, they used a lot of, as you saw, they used a lot of different traditional clothes from Colombia, from different regions. Even though they placed the movie in only one region, they used clothes from all around the country. So it took them 5 years to do that. All right, so that's it for the presentation, but we're gonna do a quiz later on. If you want to ask any questions before we move on to the quiz, and we'll be happy to answer them. And I hope you liked the presentation and that it gave you a bit better and bigger insight to Encanto.
Muchísimas gracias, Nicolas. Wow. We learned so much about Colombia just in one movie. I have a question actually. If kalau misalnya teman-teman punya pertanyaan juga boleh ya. Nanti kita boleh nyalain kamera atau boleh mungkin di chat juga bisa. I have a question. So when you watch the movie as a Colombian, I'm pretty sure that you're really proud. But is there anything that you learned from the movie that you hadn't known before about Colombia?
There is one thing I didn't mention before, but there is actually three Colombian singers in the movie. One is Carlos Vives. We talked about the song that he sang. The Sebastián Yatra, it's another one. He's very popular in Indonesia too. He was the one singing Dos Oruguitas. And also Maluma was in the movie. He was not singing, but he was the voice of Mariano in both Spanish and English versions.
Right. So mungkin pada nggak nyadar kali ya kalau ternyata Maluma ada di dalam film itu. Ada yang mau tanya tentang filmnya atau tentang Colombia, tentang makanan Colombia? I think everyone just wants to sing a song Sebastian Yatra. Oke, ada yang nyanyi dari Faisal.
Hola.
Hola.
Hola, señor.
Señor,
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Did this talk about the bad guys? The bad guys here, what I saw like this is about more to the Spanish, or you mean the bad guys that happened in Colombia at that time? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a reference to the bad guys in Colombia at that time. Colombia has had a long history of internal conflicts between different groups. And that conflict, it's been the one responsible for pushing people outside of the places where they usually live. So I cannot say it's a specific group of bad guys, but the people involved in that conflict were the ones pushing people outside of their cities.
Okay, got it. Muchas gracias.
Okay, ada lagi yang mau tanya? Any other questions? Mumpung ada narasumber langsung nih dari Colombia. Kalau misalnya nggak ada, mungkin kita bisa langsung. Maybe we can continue to the quiz, Nicholas.
Yeah, let's do the quiz.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen once again. Alrighty. Okay. The quiz is very simple. If you guys have paid attention to the presentation that Nicholas gave just now, this should be very easy. All you have to do is type very quickly, of course, answer correctly in the chat. Maybe we can do some practice. Let's see. I have a sample question here. Okay, so maybe I'll just explain in Indonesia. Jadi teman-teman akan melakukan quiz ini lewat chat. Jadi misalnya nanti ada pertanyaan nih, nomor 0, what is the name of the Madrigal family's house? Ada yang tahu jawabannya? Yes. Nah, tapi Kasita, betul. Tapi cara menjawabnya adalah, biar agak challenging sedikit nih, harus pakai nomor pertanyaannya, oke? Karena ini orangnya ada Bali, jadi nanti aku pengen tahu siapa yang jarinya paling cepat, jempolnya paling cepat. Jadi nanti cara jawabnya adalah kasih nomor pertanyaannya, kasih titik, dan kasih jawabannya. Jadi kalau pertanyaan nomor 0 titik Colombia misalnya, atau 1 titik Colombia. Oke? Ngerti ya? Jadi 0. ¿Cómo puedo? Yes. Exacto. Jadi itu ya. Nomornya dulu, nomor pertanyaannya dulu, baru jawabannya. Oke? Listos? Preparados? Mana nih suara? Oh, lagi pada stretching ini kali. Stretching tangan. Oke. Nanti we are going to find how many winners? Yoshi, Henry? 2, 3?
3 winners.
Okay, 3 winners ya. Every question counts, so make sure you answer them correctly. Preparados, preparados. Okay. Pregunta número 1. What food did Julieta Madrigal give to her daughter? It's ada yang typo. Oke.
Ki sama satu sebelahan.
Apa? Kenapa? Enggak ya. Henry, siapa nih yang nomor 1? Aduh, chatnya cepet banget nih tadi scroll ke atasnya. Coba, Henry harus scroll jauh sekali. Oke, stop ya. Kalau belum jawab ini udah ditutup karena udah banyak sekali yang jawab. Jadi siapa nih yang nomor 1, Henry? Kelihatan nggak?
Nomor 1 kita punya Sekar.
Oh, Sekar. Bravo.
Ada tadi ada yang bilang A sama S-nya tuh dekat, jadi salah ini. Jadi typo.
Oh iya. See, challenge. Oke, bravo Sekar un punto. Oke ya, jadi kita lihat jawabannya Arepa. Oke, jadi ngerti ya gitu cara mainnya. Pertanyaan kedua, second question. Listos? Where was Mirabel's dress inspired from? Ayo lo, tadi ada tuh udah disebut di presentasinya. Santander. Semua jawabannya Santander loh. Nicolás.
Yes.
¿Es cierto? ¿Es Santander o?
Yeah,
is it correct?
Santander is the region. Yes, that's true. The city.
Okay.
I mentioned the city before. If you want to be more precise, you can ask for the city. But Santander is the region where the city is.
Santander is the province. But the province, the departamento, no?
Right.
The province. And if you want to be super correct, you can answer the city. Mungkin ada yang dengar tadi kotanya apa namanya?
Yeah, a couple of people have said Barichara. It's not Barichara. Barichara is where the houses were inspired from.
Udah, yang Barichara bubar berarti ya, gugur.
Vélez, yeah, someone answered.
Oh, Mira. Bravo. Oke. Jadi jawabannya, Nicolás. So do we pick Vélez or Santander? Vélez.
I think Vélez, yeah, because I mentioned it a couple of times, and I specifically say which city it was from.
Yeah, vale. Un punto.
Mira, ya.
Para
Mira. Vale.
Oke ya. Listas. Pertanyaan ketiga. Name one of 6 different music rhythms from that were mentioned in the presentation. Whoa. Wow. Nicolás, we have 87 participants. It's a bit challenging for us to see who it is. Oh my God.
Yeah, but they've been very, very active.
Salsa, reggaeton, vallenato, tiple. Tiple is not the genre. Tiple is the instrument.
Like a guitar, yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's someone answered all of them, actually. We only asked for one, but they answered all of them. Amalia. Aha.
Amalia got all the answer.
And Eric as well. He answered 5 out of 6. Okay. So more points if you if you answer more than 1, okay? All right, Henry. So who are we going to give number 3 to?
We are going to give it to Amalia.
Yay! Okay, bravo. 1 point for Amalia. Oke ya. Ini selanjutnya nanti kalau ada lagi yang 1 dari 6, nah kalau jawab 6 atau 7, nah itu poinnya lebih. Oke, listas. Jawabannya dulu. Sorry. Bambuco, joropo, reggaeton, tropipop, salsa, y vallenato. Vale, oke. Pregunta número 4. Name one of 3 big Colombian musicians who were part of the movie. Yang mau sebut 3-3-nya, ayo biar poinnya lebih banyak. Ada nih, Karisma. Ya, tapi namanya kurang lengkap. Henry, let's find someone who wrote their complete names. Maluma,
we have Dia.
Sebastian Yatra, y Carlos Vives. Oke.
We have this one person, Dia ya namanya ya.
Oke.
Tiga dan benar semua. Dia
yang mana
Anissa.
nih? Oh, Dia Anissa.
Ya.
Vale, bravo Dia Anissa.
Ya. Namanya
3 puntos o un punto? Okay. Next question. I think this is the last question. You only have 5 questions. Is it? Yeah. Okay ya, jadi ini penentu nih. Let's see questions numero 5. What is tejo? Ooh. I saw someone got it like super correct. Traditional sport, traditional game, sport, game, traditional sport. Colombian national sport. Okay. So many correct answers, partially correct, and okay, let's see. Yang mana nih? Kita lihat dulu ya jawabannya. Let's see what the answer is. Colombia's national sport. Nah, ini kalau aku lihat di sini Maria nih kayaknya yang pertama kali jawab dengan hampir tepat tanpa S apostrofnya. So Henry, we give this one to Maria?
Yes, to Maria.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yay. So Nicholas, we have 5 persons, 5 people who got the answer correct. Do you think what do you think we should do with the? We have one more extra question, right? Should we maybe compete them against each other? So the first 3 who will answer correctly will get the prize.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Jadi kita punya pertanyaan ekstra nih, satu lagi. Jadi tadi siapa aja Henry namanya?
Kita punya Maria. Terus habis itu kita punya Dia. Lalu kita punya Amalia. Lalu kita punya Mira.
Oke, jadi ada 5 ya. Yang namanya tadi disebut. Sekarang kalian akan menjawab pertanyaan ekstra, pertanyaan pamungkas. Nanti 3 yang paling cepat. Nah, 3 pertama yang paling cepat akan kita kasih.
Sorry.
Apa?
Kan ada 4.
Oh,
Habis
4.
itu tadi kita ada 1 peserta, Sekar udah dapat 2 poin.
Oke. Jadi gimana? Jadi siapa yang mau diadu?
Sekar udah pasti dapat. Habis itu yang kita mau adu itu, tolong Mira, Amalia, Dia, sama Maria.
Oke, balik.
Lalu kita milih 2 pemenang.
Vale, oke.
Buena suerte.
Vale, Nicolás. ¿Qué es la pregunta? Oke ya, ini udah siap listas? Chicos, chicas, para la pregunta? Sí. Mana nih yang 5 tadi?
Hold on. Let me think of a good one. Difficult one.
Okay. Suspense. Susah nih kayaknya pertanyaannya nih.
Okay, so the last question, it's what's the name of the shirt that Theo Felix has in the movie?
The shirt that Theo Felix wears in the movie. Yo no sé. Ada yang tahu jawabannya? Mira, siapa tadi? Mira, Dia, Maria, sama satu lagi siapa? Ada yang tahu loh?
Amalia.
Oh, okay. I don't think anyone knows the answer. Oh no.
I
don't remember.
We're waiting for the answer.
Yeah. Okay, too difficult. This is too hard.
What should I do? We can either change the question or I can give you options and then you choose which one is the right one.
Okay. Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think Maria wants option.
Okay, so this is what I'll do. I'll write in one message the 4 different options. So it's fair for everyone and they all see them at the same time. And then you send your answer, okay? All done.
Okay. Suspense loh ini. Sekar kayaknya udah tenang, nggak perlu deg-degan lagi. Ding 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 ding.
All right, here it goes. 1, 2, 3.
Alpargata Ruana Guajabera Mochila. Which one is the shirt worn by Tio Felix in Encanto? Oh, sorry. Nicolas, you send this
I send it
privately.
Oh, sorry. Oh no.
It's okay.
Okay, here it goes. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, guys. Yang mana, guys? Gak usah mikir lama-lama mungkin. You don't have to think hard. If you don't know, just guess. Just pick one.
Suerte.
Please don't Google. No.
Mochila.
Mochila. Okay, Nicolas. We have... Pues mochila es una bolsa, ¿no?
Sí.
Entonces, ¿es guayabera o no?
Yes, it's guayabera. Maria got it right.
Vale. Entonces, Maria, kamu mendapatkan 1 poin, which is sudah menang sih sebenarnya. Tapi satu lagi siapa dong nih? We still need one more winner. Or should we just give 2 gifts?
Yeah,
this is sad.
Yang tercepat aja kali. Yang tercepat aja.
Okay. Yang tercepat ya. Tercepat tapi salah. No, I don't want. Like it's not fair. If it's wrong, then we don't want. No, we'll just give 2 of the gifts. So we're gonna give to Maria and Sekar. Hadiahnya apa? Kita lihat. Tada! Jadi kalian mendapatkan. So you guys are getting tote bag from Dime Porque, super exclusive, only from this event. And please send us a DM through Instagram with your details, name, phone number, and address for the shipping. Okay? Right. Congrats, guys.
All right.
Right.
Great.
So we have come to the Instagram story.
Leah, let's talk about that. So I'm going to show you the prizes that we have for that. We're going to have 2 winners too.
Okay.
So the prize that we're going to give to the winners, it's because you're all learning Spanish and we want you to learn and practice. We're going to give out 2 copies of Cien Años de Soledad from Gabriel García Márquez in Spanish. And we're gonna ask the ambassador to sign them for the winners.
Whoa!
So the contest, it's very simple, and I know it's gonna be very interesting for you guys because you're all very creative. So what you gotta do is follow both the embassy and Dime Porque accounts in Instagram at emco Indonesia and at dime.por.ke. With your public accounts in Instagram, then we're gonna post in a few minutes in the embassy account a couple of questions. How many questions do you have? Four questions in our stories. No answers, only questions. And then you will have to answer them in the most creative way on your Insta stories, mentioning both the embassy and Dime Por Qué. And we are not going to use any hashtags because we just checked that hashtags are useless for stories.
That's why. That's why I put here XXX. Okay, yeah. So we're not going to use any hashtag. Okay.
And then we're going to give you, let's see, how many days? When do we announce the winner?
Just 24 hours, I think, enough.
All right. So we're going to announce the winners on Friday morning.
All right.
All right.
So, buena suerte, everyone. Good luck.
In a few minutes, keep an eye on the embassy account stories and you will find the questions that you will have to answer.
Yes. So, follow the Instagram for the embassy right now and wait for the questions and just, make some interesting and creative stories with music, stickers, and all that. And don't forget to mention us, of course. All right, so that's it, I think, from us. Only the last thing to do is, of course, take a picture of all of us. Should we? Okay, I'll just stop this for a sec. Oh, now I can see everyone. All right. So if I need to turn on the camera, let's take a photo.
Primarita, I'll introduce you guys to a couple of interns at the embassy. They were supporting the research and design for the presentation that I just did for you.
Oh, por supuesto.
So, this is Juan Pablo.
Hola, Juan Pablo.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Thank you so much for being interested in Colombian culture.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Hi.
Hola, Susana.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
So now we can take the picture all together.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. We have 3 pages here, so please keep smiling. I'm going to take some photos. All right. What do we say? Arepa?
Arepa.
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 Tunggu. Hold on. Espera. Un momento. 2 kali lagi. Alright. Arepa. Sebentar. Otra vez más. Espera. Okay. Arepa. Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you, Juan Pablo. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Susana and Nicolas, of course, for the presentation. We learned so much about Colombia, and we're never, we're always excited if we have, content from Colombia. So I hope you are going to share more with us in the coming, months, year. And muchas gracias a todos. See you at our next event.
Gracias.
Adiós. Chao.
Gracias.
Gracias. Buenas